Good morning. How are you? I've been up for a long time already. I don't. I don't get to sleep like everybody else. I get to sit around and wonder how am I going to bail out mankind from his predicament on the same sinking ship I am. Let me let you know. It's like it's almost impossible to explain the Bible to somebody, its purpose and what it means, right? Because you have to explain quantum physics. You have to have something that isn't but is. It's like sitting in the superposition, ready to be. Yeah, it's like light and dark don't go together, and it's like, dude, they're just think of it as energy or something, then, right? So that's my predicament. How do I explain somebody that a quarter is still a quarter, even though it has heads and tails, like two different sides, right? It's still one coin, you know. And I can see indications of this kind of a teaching. Like, yeah, well, honestly, I think that what happens is the reason why all the teachings go together for me, like, yeah, Gospel of Thomas, dude, Gospel of Thomas fits into the regular, the I'll just call them the contemporary Gospels. Well, yeah, fits that thing like a glove when you can see how to connect it. If you can't, well, then you lost a piece of history. You lost one of the Gospels because you read it and then misunderstanding it said, "This is." It's like somebody that's putting. It's like a man. You ever been a man? I can actually say that now, can't I? That's kind of interesting. But think about it. It's like, as a man, I know that there's been times when I've been putting something together. Yeah, don't need any instructions. There's only a couple parts. And then because one part just happened to be able to go one of two different ways and you put it on the wrong way, and you wind up disassembling it. Or in some cases, if it's really complicated, it's like this one little thing. What's this? Get rid of it. And you want to know what's funny? We scream and yell about everything and complain. Like I know for a fact. Oh man, I got it. I know what it is. These hairs are itching my nose. Um, I know for a fact that because I remember it. Oh, this cheap Chinese junk, blah 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 blah, and everybody complaining, right? And it's like it got to the point where so that you couldn't mess it up, they wound up sending like pieces of cardboard with the exact number of screws on it and arrows pointing everything. But obviously it was a language issue. You're reading something and it says turn turn bolt or turn, I don't know, turn nut until happy. Well, what is the nut supposed to be happy? Am I happy? It's like, so I mean, sometimes things get lost in translation, and I think I know for certain that's what happened with our scriptures. Because I see things that are just so obvious now. They're just jumping out of the damn book all over me. It's bugging the shit out of me. It's driving me to drink. What time is it? It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. Hmm. And why? Because I got up at 12. I love it when people leave my channel because I pick up a beer. Go away, hypocrite. bugs me. I see all piled in there, and then I do something that's ungodly, and suddenly I'm a bad guy. You know what? I'm annoyed. I'm aggravated. I'm out here fighting for the common man, and we can't even understand it. I heard Tony Evans this morning preaching it. I don't know what time it was, early, and he's talking about the two becoming the one natural man, and it's like, yeah, the sin nature, it's built in. Go read Isaiah 45:7, okay? It's like, it's what it is. But I start reading this thing, right? And this is another one that got me. So now I'm back to the book of Mark, because Mark was actually the first one that was written. And I'm looking at John, right? Because this is where it starts out. Okay? So literally, Mark starts out talking about John. And it's like, John must be a very integral part of this. It starts out mentioning John. That's a cornerstone, right? Pay attention. Beginning the the beginning, well, that's what they tell you for the context, for the subtitle, which are things that I don't like, right? So what does it say? The beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, as it is written in Isaiah the prophet. Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way. Now, do you know how it says that the Spirit was hovering over the face of the waters? You are water, but you're either or. Different kinds of water can come from you, even blood. Okay, you're water. It's strange because we're everything. We're called dirt, but we're also called water. And that's the reason why I feel that Jesus did that, was to say, look, you need to understand both sides of this thing, dirt and water. Okay. Um, Basically, I mean, if I had dirt and water and stuck it in your eye, the only thing I'm missing is what? Well, if you're light and a seed, you should grow at that point. I don't know. But as it is written in Isaiah the prophet, behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way. The voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. And then it says, John appeared baptizing in the wilderness. Let's skip forward. Guess what? Jesus gets baptized and immediately drove him out into the wilderness. Wait a minute. I thought he was in the wilderness getting baptized. What wilderness did he get driven out to? And why? To be tested. Can you divide? Can you rightly divide? That's the test. It's all about considering. And he was with who? Wild animals, and the angels were ministering to him. Now, when the angels are ministering to you, you're judging angels at that point. And there's angels of light, there's angels of dark, right? So that's part of it. Wild animals are people that don't know anything about God. Remember what happened to Nebuchadnezzar, right? And then next, now after John was arrested, let's see what happened. After he gets arrested, then Jesus came into Galilee, proclaiming what? The gospel of God, saying, the time is fulfilled. So because the person preaching repentance, how is that fulfilled? Is that a prophecy that is fulfilled? I don't know. I think there's prophecies somewhere that say in those days they will kill you and or do what is wrong to you and call it good, do evil to you and call it good. That happened to Jesus, but that obviously then, if John is if John is preaching a baptism of repentance, guess what? It fits it, right? That's a lot of these prophecies are like that. And so when you can see where they all plug in all over the place, uh, it's kind of like having, I don't know, little puzzle pieces to plug into time and events and things. And you'll see stuff like this happening all the time, right? Like, look at what happened to America. See, God will allow something to happen for so long, and then He judges it, and that's after 400 years. We landed here in 1620. That's why in 2020 all hell broke loose. So 400 years. We put a hook in our jaw with the Mayflower Compact. We came here, religious persecution, across the waters, saw the land, nakedness, shame, and curse all started just like the Garden of Eden, like another loop. But guess what? In 1620, we put a hook in our jaw because we wrote down what we were going to do, what our intentions were. Did we follow through with that? No. How did we start? We immediately destroyed the people that welcomed us on the shores of their nation. And, yeah, not good, right? So, and I shouldn't laugh about it, but yeah, that's what we did. And 400 years later, it's time to pay. So that's why it all kind of turned around on our heads, right? Remember how we gave them blankets infected with smallpox? Kind of interesting that 400 years later, we had a disease come through, right? The pendulum of fate swings that way, and God is very fair. There's numbers to this thing. If you pay attention to the numbers, like 400, you remember how Jesus showed up? Do you remember there was a 400-year intertestament, intertesticle period? Damn it. Intertestamental? It's driving me crazy. There's a period where between the Old Testament and where Jesus shows up. 400 years. Seems there's a lot of 400s everywhere in Scripture. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to 4 and 4 times 10 and 4 times 10 times 10. You know what's a great number? A God number. 10 times 10 times 10. It's 1,000. A trinity with perfection in every spot. You know what happens when you take that trinity and you put man in all those roles? You get 666. You get man who's his own God. You get man who's his own spirit. And you get man who's its own son serving in the temple. He's got it all. But we do. But we have to orient it in the right direction, right? This is our temple. It either serves God or you have your own image and you serve yourself. That's the temple that you're going to see the abominable image in. We don't have to build one, guys. Remember, Jesus said anytime will do. And so either he's lying or, yeah. There's a lot of places where I looked up the word never just to see who says never in the Bible, right? And God, our God says never. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute, right? He says never. If he says never, then it's never. Okay. So here's where he says never. He says, now this is in Genesis 8:21. Okay. 8:21 and then Genesis 9:11. So in one, he gives burnt offerings, and the Lord smelled a pleasing aroma, and the Lord said in his heart, uh-oh, the heart is evil beyond all understanding. I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the intention of man's heart is evil from his youth. And when people read that, they feel like man did something wrong. It's like the point of him saying that is, as a youth, you have evil in you. It's just a normal thing. because evil is like a stem cell. It is childish. It's not what it should be, but it has the ability to be evil or more or good, depending on what you do with it. That's where the spirit defines the law. You can write things down, don't lie, but if like a bunch of gangsters come to your house and they're like banging on your door, give me your kids, and you're like, I don't have any kids, and you got like, you know, an entire family in your basement. You know what? Lie, lie, all you need to, because otherwise you're just, for the sake of legalism, you're honoring who? Moses, and letting your family get destroyed? What are you, stupid? Sorry. If you would do that, yeah, not a good idea. When you go by the Spirit, it's different, right? But he says, I will never again curse the ground because of man. Well, you got to stop on that. That's a never, because of man. Can he curse it for other reasons? Can he claim responsibility for it and say, you know what? I put too much on man. I need to take responsibility for this now. Because man doesn't understand that he's born now into a fallen world where there's evil. He might be tempted to know it, right? It could create cement some ideas, mark his thoughts, forehead, put a mark on there. And suddenly now he's got uh, a bad view of the world, right? Because there's evil everywhere. That's how it started. When you look at somebody and you have no idea who that person is and you start judging just by the outside, wow, you lost possibly a friend. You don't know who that person might be, and you have a potential enemy, and more and so likely because now you've already judged them. You know, it's one side or the other. You have to be careful. Some people look scary, but they're actually nothing to be concerned with. And I'm not even talking about myself. Hey, in some parts of the world, I'm pretty cool looking. This look here is called Old Testament. You know, you should see me. Uh, you know, pose, with lightning bolts and stuff coming out of my hands. Ah, I'm just all haired out. Holy Spirit's got a hold of me, and whew. Have you ever experienced that? I did. One time, the first time, and I got on my face. I didn't know anything about. I had. That's funny, man. It's funny when you read about what you did, and it's like, hey, Paul did that. You know, Lord, is that you? God, well, I said God. God. I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? And it was like, I don't know. If they say that when lightning is ready to strike, you can feel it because your hair will stand on end and everything. Like there's a lot of energy around you. That's what it felt like. I was in my house. Okay, totally. Yeah, yeah. We didn't need crutches like alcohol and drugs back then. Um, yeah, I just lived my life and didn't worry about any of this God stuff. I didn't have to worry about the world. Life was good. Now, help, please, somebody. Find me a theologian. Find anybody with a freaking brain in their head that can read a book and is willing to. willing to go, oh my God, what have we done? What have we done? It's literally going to be that kind of a moment. It's exactly as it's written. We're all going to be like, we're all going to be so brokenhearted. I am. It destroys me. It ruins me. Jesus didn't need to be nailed to a cross, and it destroys me. I'm able to envision things. I have envisioned very complicated structures, even machines and just things I've invented. And when I see that crucifixion, it just kills me. And I get mad. I want somebody to pay for that mistake. And the people that are going to pay are the ones that won't accept him as the Messiah. And if you're near any of those people, get away from them. If they don't accept him as the Messiah, get the hell away from them. Because it's not going to turn out good for those people. Okay? It didn't in 70 AD, and it's not going to again. There's something interesting that our God says in Scripture. Okay? He says, all of Israel will be saved. And if Jesus doesn't count, you got a big, big problem. You got a big, big problem. Where did he come from? Okay? Uh, he was a Jew. You talk about remembering him well, may he be remembered well, and all of this baloney with all these anybody's. I can be buried in an unmarked grave. I could give a shit. Just listen to what I'm saying and make sure it gets out because we made a big mistake. A very bad mistake. We've been paying for it for 2,000 years. And I don't know. I want our Lord to come flying out of the sky as much as anybody, but I wouldn't come back to this place. Because if he comes back anything looking like a man or anything normal, Jewish, yeah, people's not going to like him. Not the Christians anyway. Because he can't walk through walls and fly. It's okay. Remember what Jesus said. This generation will not see a sign. Let it be a hint to you. That was funny. The guy was talking to somebody over here, over on the corner. And so he drove up to the car, and then his bike was facing the car this way, but because he wanted to get sideways and talk to the person, he reached around with his one hand and grabbed the rear tire and picked it up. And from here, it looked like he grabbed a hold of his ass and spun it around. It looked like he was doing a real weird, I don't know, something. But it was entertaining. Yeah. I can't wait to dump this ministry because it's a waste of freaking time. I'm fighting with a bunch of scholars, and I'm up against exactly what Paul warned us of. People's minds being seared as if with an iron, and having a quote-unquote form of godliness with no power. And you can't. You won't have any power if you don't know how to rightly divide the word. And you got to understand what he was talking about. You don't write off the laws and Jesus took care of everything, I'm saved. No, now you're fear and trembling working out your salvation. Because now you know what it's for. And if you don't care, then don't worry about it. That's what the natural man is about. Those laws are written on your heart. They should be on your chest. You don't look in a book to serve our God. And it's just so funny, man. Anytime you say law, I'm going to tell you what the problem is with the law. Jesus didn't like that they used the law to abuse and harm and hurt each other. That was his biggest problem. He didn't like it. Because just like today, when I can manipulate this and manipulate that and get out of this and get out of that, well, guess what? These folks were using it to harm and hurt people when you could just as easily lift your finger and move it to a different part of the law that would maybe get the person off the hook and you wouldn't have to kill them. Yeah. Jesus was a man of perfection, and he wanted righteousness and fairness for all. He wanted all the things that all the prophets talked about. Isaiah, you know. But who are the oppressed? It's anybody that doesn't understand God. It's like it's a for or against situation. If you don't know what you're doing, he's against you. And so you're going to struggle. And when you see somebody doing stupid stuff and they're struggling, you should help them. Right? Do you think I'm doing stupid stuff right now? Help me. See? Can't fucking get away, can you? Where's my theologians? Get me some ears so I can show them what we've done. Wow. This is terrible. This is just absolutely freaking terrible. And what will I get out of it? I'll drop dead, be buried in a grave somewhere, and after I'm gone, 100 years from now, they'll go, he was right. What fucking good is it then? Zero. You got to talk to people when they're alive, man. Otherwise, you just, how do you think, how do you know what they were thinking if you can't bounce a few questions off and figure it out? I can see what happened now when they wrote the New Testament. Mark came first, and then Matthew kind of built upon it. They plugged in all the some of the law stuff so you could see what the hell was happening there, right? You know, in Mark, it's, hi, it's John. Look, it's Jesus. Plunk in the water. Poof, let's go. You get to Matthew, which came after Mark, and it's, you know, who sent you, you vipers? And it's like, now it's an attack. And that's the stuff that, like, you know, that the people that are, you know, Judaism wants to have taken out of the New Testament because it's anti-Semitic, right? And I'm going, I commented on a rabbi's channel yesterday or day before. I said, you know, do you think Jesus felt that he was being treated, you know, like anti-Semitically? It's like, wasn't he a Jew? You know? Oh, and it's funny because they're running live, and you say something like that, and it'll piss them off, and they'll shut the thing down because it derails the train. And it's like, the reason why it blows you off your freaking tracks is because it's the truth. The truth sucks. It hurts, but you know what? When you suck it up and make it for what it is, things will be better. It's exactly as what God said. Come now, let us reason together. Right? God and us. Otherwise, it's man and God with a big question mark in the middle. Ishmael. Or it's laughter. Those are the seeds. But as soon as you make it about the creation and bloodlines and whatever, even when Jesus gets baptized, what does he say? In both, he says it, beloved son. And you're like, what difference does that make? David means beloved. Whatever spoke from God, spoke from heaven, whatever that meant, he put him in the house of David right there spiritually. Beloved. So even the fact that John, the disciple that he loved, there's something going on there. It's not sexual in that way, but you have to look at it as a, you know, obviously sexual relations produce fruit. It was the only way that they could, describe, when a spirit causes you to do something. So they use the idea that, your fruit is considered sons and daughters. Sons are whoever they are. They're serving their father, right? Daughters, they're seed bearers. They do either or. When it says, the devil couldn't get that child, so he went off to fight with the rest of her children. So what is that? That's literally, you could be sitting there watching it like as if it's a machine. I see it like a process, is what I see it as. It's just like a continuing machine that's just checking and going, good for God. No, throw it back in the fire. It's okay. It'll fuel the fire and make the fire go and get hotter, which then causes more gold to come out. But guess what? The fire can get on like runaway, and all the gold comes out at once. And that's called judgment. Because then you got fire and gold, and that's the whole the obedient lamb walking through the fire, and he gets before the throne with his feet blazing as if he's walked through the furnace, and it's like, because he has. And why? Well, because when I walk through the fires, he's with me. It's like, oh my God, it's terrible. It's a book. It's a book that warns us about itself, the great sword that takes peace from the earth. And we have, I don't know. It's it's freaking terrible to read something where it says, I will remove the singing from your assemblies, and it's like, and I remember how I used to read it. I'm like, yeah, this is going to happen to those bad people, right? And then now I read it and I go, oh my God, this is the church it's talking about. Drunk on the blood of the saints. Yeah, you're high on what? Because of all your saints that you have running for you. Those are your relying on your previous glories. That's in Ezekiel. When he's talking about you have all your temples at every crossroad and you just give away everything and whatever. Yeah, drunk on the blood of the saints. It's like, no, that's the bad people. No, it's not. They shed it's like being proud of martyrs, right? They did everything. I don't have to do nothing. It's exactly what they do to Jesus. They make him an idol. And I saw, who was it? It was, I got to rewind. Hold on. Ken Johnson. It was Ken Johnson was talking, and he said, he mentioned idol and idolatry. He destroyed their idols because of their idolatry. Or they were idle, like not moving, and then that not moving was associated with idolatry. And I was like, I knew the word was too close. I was just looking for somebody to be able to connect it, and damn it, he did. And I should probably go through my watch list and see where it is and whatever, but I give a shit anymore. I'm done, man. You guys will figure it out. Or you won't. I can't, I can't force you can't force feed something upon somebody. You can only use all the documentation, speak your point. And a dissertation comes with college. Yeah, screw that too. I ain't going to college. I'm too damn old. I don't want to. And guess what? You come up with your dissertation and then you present it and then people read it and go, oh, wow. Well, guess what? Forget all the college. I'll give you my dissertation. Just bring your shit here, okay? You can't write it down. It's an interactive process because you're looking at two sides of one coin at the same time. Can you do that? Yes, you can. It's called 0 times 0 equals God. And it's the way to literally... Sorry, I had a bee come by. Zap them all, man. You want some too? Don't mess with me. Yeah, it's like I can't keep up with this crap and try to live a life too. And there's no sense in throwing it all away. What? So I can fulfill prophecy. He died for nothing and not for himself. It's pointless. It's stupid. if you're gonna die, have it be for a reason, okay? Remember, that's the suffering servant. That's the one you don't want to be. Faithful and willing. That's who you want to be. But there's no faith in this place. Everybody's too afraid of God and skeptical of everybody. Everybody's a damn demon. And I've had people get on my channel and say shit, not comments like, you're on Patreon trying to make money. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Hey, Grumpy. Hey, you need to get up when I do it, like 12 in the morning.
What's that?
You need to get up at like 12 at midnight, and then you'll be ready to party by now. Yeah, it's like everybody's all asleep. I run like this, and then about the middle of the day, I just can't go anymore. And then I conk out, and then I wake up in the middle of the morning. Okay. And usually with listening to some sermon or something. This morning, I woke up to a bunch of music, and it was all music about, we need to be one, and all these, all these songs about not trying hard enough, and and I've been saying this for years, man. Build it. Well, we can't build it. It's because look what they did in Babylon. They tried to build it, and it's like, how many freaking excuses are you gonna have? Excuse after excuse after excuse. I was in the Marine Corps. You know what? Excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got them, and they all stink. Get your ass up early and get to work. This place is pointless. What do you think? I think we're going down. We're still going down. Well, I see why the bees are coming down. They're after my lemon juice. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Come back again. And so what's going to happen is we're watching. If you're a person that enjoyed going to church and fellowship, and all that's going to crumble to nothing. We're watching the indescript beast grind it to nothing. which is just going, you got to think of it as like dust, everything dust and nothing chaos. And then on the other side is God, a solid block of iron, doesn't move, perfect. You just look at it and it glows, I guess, right? And in between there's that process, and you wind up with two sides. That side is not in the middle. It's wherever you turn. Wherever you're facing the other direction, that's where the turning point is. That's where you're. Uh, it's like if you don't, if people don't want to build it, it ain't gonna appear. I'm sorry. It just doesn't, to expect real estate falling out of the sky and everything. If that is the level of God that's going to show up for us, there's no way any of us can be held accountable for anything we've done wrong. There's no way in hell a being that can have ground in whatever can expect anything more of us than just us to keep ourselves alive. I'm sorry. Any being capable of that would have to have an understanding, just, I can see it like from a psychological standpoint, fear of death, uh, fear of not being good enough and then being caused to steal, or fear of not living in a brotherly society where I can expect somebody to take care of me, so I have to steal because I can't. It's like this place is jacked up, man. There's no love here. There's no love here. There ain't no God love here. If there is, you're looking at it. And I can't find a partner. Nowhere. Not a one. Hmm. What a pity. Can you give me a heart attack or something? Get me the hell out of here already. Don't want to do this. This really sucks. I don't like watching people war. Do I really have to see the end of time? I thought I did. Can't it be like, can't we just like pick a new time? It's up to us, right? Anytime. Anytime will do. Come on, Dad. And the dove answers. I know you don't laugh at us. If you're capable of any emotion, you are crying right now. I can feel it. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every bird of the heavens, upon everything that creeps on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Hey, how come he gets to ride his motorcycle? I'm gonna go start mine up. Hell yeah. Get the hell out of here. Can't wait. This is it. Enoch. All right, homie. Oh, there you go. I'm ready to go right now. I got an extra helmet. Oh, hell yeah. No cameras, no microphones, no worries, nothing but asphalt, gasoline. It's like you can live without a stove. You can live without shelter if you're in a not too bad of an area where the weather's not so bad. You should always cover up anyway. Keep the bugs off you. They like to live in here. I feel like I wasted 10 years there. 15 actually. 14? 25? $14 years. Yeah, yeah, 14 years because 2011. 2011. I died in 2009. And then I came here, yeah. Yeah, I was here before 2012 because then I found out when 2012 came, I found out that, well, the Mayans believe in sacred cycles. Well, the day I was saved or circumcised, my circumcision date is 999 as a Christian. So it would have been 8 days after, accepting or whatever. Starting my walk with God on September 9th, 2009. And that was the start of the last sacred cycle for the Mayans. And what's weird is as far as December 21st, I was married to two women who had that birthday. My first wife and my second wife. And what's weird is my third wife, her birthday is the day before I married my first wife. And her last name is was Jericho. How's that? The first wife, her last name was Paulus, and she gave me a signet, or well, she stole it back, but her family gave me a signet ring that was one of them things that you stamp into stuff, you know. There's no telling what she did with it. The guy she ran off with was he was a heroin user, and people like that, they don't have any control over themselves. They probably wound up in a pawn shop somewhere, unknown now, piece of family history, a relic, just gone over stupidity. She took off, took a lot of stuff, everything they could carry. Good for her. She got what she deserved. I think I'm going to run it on the high side today. I have I did all, I'm a mechanic. I do everything. I make wine, photographer, I can write code, I can do bills, I can booby trap and make destructive things. I can kill you without warning. Welcome to the Marine Corps. But that thing has a literally a switch. I can hit a switch on it. I wanted the thing like they got in Corvettes, right? How come he has a little button he pushes and now his car can whoop ass, right? I got the same thing. But I got 3 positions on mine. Yeah, when I can affect the timing, and you can really hear the cam, and it'll like and then when you get on it, if you can bust the rear tire loose, it just won't stop. It's got so much torque, it won't hook back up. You just burn it off. Bike's too heavy. You got 1,000 pounds between me and the bike. So, I don't. Is that? I don't know if maybe it is more than that. Then I didn't think about that. I might have my specs wrong because, see, I bought it. I bought it as like a Chevy Cavalier, but then I turned it into a Corvette because I bought all the parts that went on the better model and put them on there, and then I went inside and did some of the motor work after that, but like all the outside stuff, right, like bags, I almost said steering wheel, windshield. Oh man, I wish I would have got that Royal Star. That thing was sweet. They had a Yamaha Royal Star that had a speedometer on it that was like a long speedometer with like a needle that went across. You know what I mean? Like on an old Cadillac or something. One of those, it was like, wow. I don't know, just the dashboard looked really cool. But You know what? I have been offered so many cool things, and I can never buy gifts for myself. I can't take it, you know? Nice toolboxes, you know, like these ones that look like something you could live in. You know, it's like huge. You know, 8 feet tall. You got to stand on your toes to get stuff out of the top, and there's like a gazillion drawers, and you can, you know, heavy duty. You know, you could take the tools out of it, disassemble your car, and hide your car in the toolbox. It would be able to hold it all. You know, I mean, that's how huge it is, right? And that I've had when I got this motorcycle, you know, my wife was telling me, she's going, get this one, and I'm like, no, it's too much money. This one's enough. You know, why do I need all that? You know, I'm not good at treating myself with stuff. I don't know. It's like, you know what? I'm sorry, but a white balloon is not much different to me than a red balloon. Okay, if the white balloon is a penny and the red balloon is $1, I'm just gonna get 100 white balloons. Uh-oh. Hey, we just hit the power. We're at 15%. I like when it does that. You know why? It's kind of funny because if you think about it, see, 15 is a secret number in scriptures. You only know it if you're Jewish, okay? But the yod and the hey. Yod is 10. That's also the hand thing that you read the scriptures with, right? Yod and hey. Yod is 10. It's perfection. The hey is 5, which is what? It's exactly half of 10. That's actually where the 2/3 come into play. When you take away the 1/3 that misses, then you get the perfection. But what happens when you add that 1/3? That's the strange thing about God, right? He's perfection, and then 5 is the number of grace. And those two words, or they are words kind of, but they're letters, but those two letters, the yod and the hey, they're part of the name, the Lord's name, and they equal 15. And they stand for perfection and grace. And see, it's strange because perfection and grace really don't go together, because grace makes up for something that's lacking, and perfection isn't lacking. So that's where the perfection of God comes in, right? He's perfect, but yet he still has grace. And he hems you in from before and behind. In other words, if you're walking towards him in the before, he's before me. I'm under him, he's before me. I'm going in that direction. But even if from the other direction, then he's behind you. Uh-oh. Yeah. Go read Isaiah 45:7, and you'll realize that maybe we shouldn't be so worried about the boogeyman. We should just gravitate towards love, take care of each other, do the things that Jesus said to do. Listen to what his mom said. What his mom said. What did his mom say? Do you remember? Right before she disappeared. That was one of the craziest moments, is at the wedding. And we don't even realize what it was supposed to be. The 6 stone water jars, 6 is man's numbers, and they had water in there. And what did he do? He was showing how he was going to make wine. He was going to teach about the vine and what's going on. But it wasn't time for wine, was it? He was like Orson Welles. Woman, what have I to do with you? We shall have no wine before it's time. And then suddenly it was time. And what happened? Mommy started a problem. What did she say? Do everything that he tells you. Can you just imagine these guys that are willing and wanting to serve Jesus, and then they hear that? Do everything that he tells you.